Ladies and gentlemen, Illinois is back in the Sweet 16. First time, and I can't believe I'm saying these words, first time in 19 years, Illinois has made the second weekend of the NCAA Tournament. Holy cow. Where's the Tylenol? No Tylenol needed tonight.
Woo!
That was for once, and I almost tweeted this. I had the tweet written on Thursday, and I didn't press send. After Duquesne beat BYU, I almost tweeted, did Illinois really just catch a break in the NCAA tournament? Because that never happens. And they did, because Illinois just pounded Duquesne tonight, 89-63. It was a 30-point game. I mean, the scores, like, it was even worse than the score indicates. Like, it wasn't close from basically the jump. Just domination all the way around. Duquesne just no competition whatsoever. Almost wish it would have been closer, because the celebration the last 10 minutes was just kind of like, meh, okay, we made it. Like, I would have rather it been a little close. You know, the team just kind of shook hands afterwards. Wasn't really much of a thing going on, but win's a win, man. As Logan said, didn't know if I'd ever see one again. No, I didn't say. Logan did say that.
I
did not say that.
I did say that.
How you feeling, Logan?
Hello, Craig. Hello, chat. Hello, Mom. Mother, Father, if you're watching this show, which I know you are, if you're looking for a birthday gift to give me,
there's something going on in Boston next week.
Would love to go to Boston over the weekend. No. Well, yes, but no. Happy to be here. Sweet 16. It's unfathomable to me. And I think I was watching the WCIA pregame with Brett and Piper, and Derek Piper had done a little research, and the number of teams that have made the Sweet 16 since Illinois last played in one is like astounding. Yeah. It's incredible to me that we consider Illinois to be a, top 20 program in the world of college basketball, and they haven't been to a Sweet 16 since 2005. So here we are. Did we get a little bit of a break? Yes, absolutely. Does that matter? No. I think this team would have done the same thing to BYU that they did to Duquesne. So whatever.
Maybe not
that's the beauty of the tournament. Sometimes you get stuck with a team like Loyola in the second round, and sometimes you luck out and get a team like Duquesne in the second round. A team like Duquesne who truly believed they could hold Illinois to 60 points in this game. Illinois almost scored 60 points in the first half. Nothing against Duquesne. Fine basketball team. They were one of the hottest teams in the country coming into this. But Illinois, they were out for blood. For whatever motivation they needed, they got it. And I'm riding high. Shipping up to Boston. Sweet 16. Let's go. Timmy, we don't know the time yet. We don't even know if it's Thursday or Friday. But you know what? Hit me up. Happy to be here.
I was going to come on and play like either Shipping Up to Boston or like the old war chant that they had to get rid of, or Oski Wow Wow. But we are on YouTube and all these platforms, and you'll get dinged for all that kind of stuff. So I didn't, but I really wanted to. I don't know how I feel about it being in Boston, but who cares? We're there. Who cares? Let's run through the stats real quick. But like Logan said, like and subscribe to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media. All that good stuff really helps us out. So the stats today: Terrence Shannon Jr. 30 piece again, 10 of 14 from the field, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He made 2 threes, had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, plus 27 in the plus minus tonight. He's playing better individually than I've ever seen an Illini basketball player play. Terrence
Yeah.
Shannon right
Yes, he is on. He
as
is on one incredible heater.
person. I started really following Illinois probably about 02, 01, 02, the Brian Cook era, Frank Williams era. Um, since then, this is the best I've ever seen an individual Illinois basketball player play. And it is just a treat to watch. Marcus Domask, 22 tonight, 9 of 16 from the field, 3 rebounds, 7 assists for him. Coleman Hawkins, 11, and they were all early. He scored 11 of like the first 15 for Illinois, it seemed like. Also, 7 rebounds for him. And Quincy with 10 points, 6 rebounds. So, again, Quincy's on his roller coaster. A good game, bad game, good game, bad game. This was a good one for Quincy. Dane Danger had 8, and then a couple other guys got in the book. Luke Goody hit a 3. Monty Hansberry had a nice move late. Ty Rogers had 2. And Max Williams made a free throw tonight for the Illini. We don't even need to go over Duquesne. Is there team stats on here? Or is it just
I
kind of
don't know.
okay? So 35-28, Illini win the rebounding battle. Shot 59% from the field, 35 of 59. Just we don't need to go too much into it. It was just a massacre in a good way. So I don't even know where to take this. What stood out to you? I mean, it's hard
Um,
to take things away from this because it was such a lopsided performance,
what stood
lopsided
out
game.
to me was that this was Illinois controlled this game from the get-go.
Yeah,
This has been a reoccurring thing the past few games, basically throughout the Big Ten tournament, and then against Morehead State. Illinois continues to spot teams' points to start games. Now, granted, every single one of those games they surge back, particularly in the second half. They won by double digits, and they're playing their best basketball in the second half. But it started at the very beginning. There was no mercy from the get go. There did not seem to be any more postseason jitters. I thought everybody that touched the floor for the most part looked like they wanted to be out there and looked like they things were clicking. Justin Harmon looked good. Justin Harmon was playing solid defense. Somebody who we've been a little harder on. Dane Danger continues. Has he missed a shot yet?
no,
I think he's 18 for 18 in his last however many games or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, obviously Terrence and Domask led the scoring attack, but Coleman hit a couple big threes early. The Coleman follow up on that, shot clock heave that he made.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was way off, and he knew it was way off, but he just followed a shot, grabbed the rebound, put it back in. Coleman had a really nice game. It just felt like this was a complete performance from start to finish from just about everybody that touched the floor. Not everybody was putting up, Shannon and Domask numbers from a point standpoint, but when you have Terrence Shannon and Marcus Domask, you don't need everybody to put up those kind of numbers. You still had 2 other players finishing double figures, plus Dane, who finished with 8 points. It's great. This was a complete performance from Illinois. This is a good Duquesne team. Again, you did catch a little bit of a break, probably not seeing BYU, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You're going to the Sweet 16, and you're coming on off the back on the back of one of your best performances of the season.
Yeah.
So
They Illinois puts the Big Ten tourney champs curse to bed. The last
yes,
3 tourney champs have all been bounced early. First tourney champ to advance to the second weekend, I believe, since Michigan State in 2019. So there's that. I've started a couple things here. Oh, from Tim. Seems like we play faster and faster every game. It's hard to get much faster. I don't know how much more they can go, but I don't disagree with that. And
no,
I think that's how Illinois is going to win from here on out.
yeah.
You're going to have to outrun teams. I don't want to already start looking at this but I feel like Iowa State might be a similar type of situation as tonight. Like if you get out and go, I don't think they're going to be able to stop you. I honestly think it's a decent matchup for Illinois.
Could be. I mean, they're a pretty good defensive team. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country. But yeah. I mean, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can run with Illinois. I mean, that's a, it's a great point. They pounced on Houston. Houston was a little beat up. I'm not sure Houston was really playing for that much at that point. But I mean, I certainly don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But I mean, you might have a point. I don't think that there are very, very many teams that can run with Illinois when they're playing like this. Part of me does think that they were, I don't want to say they were, I think there was some whiteboard, some chalkboard material with the comments that were made about, keeping them within 60 points and all that stuff. So they were probably ready to bulletin board material, ready to run out and do some things when they had the opportunity. So we'll see what we get with Iowa State, but I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but you might be right. They
and then our buddy
speed,
Mark.
Yeah.
House money from here on out. I want more, but we've had a great year as of now. I thought the same thing as the clock was getting down to like 6 minutes, 5 minutes. I was like, okay, this was the goal. We did what we wanted to do. We've got to the second weekend. We've got, as Brad said in the postgame or the postgame interview right there on TNT. It's nice to check a box, but it's hard not to want more from this because this team is so good. I know this was our goal. Second weekend is what we've wanted for years now. But now that it's happened, it's like maybe I'm not happy with just this.
I mean, I'm with Mark. I've been saying house money. I think that's the case. And you're the 3 seed. You're going into Boston with what will likely be the 1 and the 2 also there. So whatever happens. You're going to come in probably as the underdog regardless. And I certainly think they can play with probably both of those teams. UConn is obviously the number 1 team in the country for a reason, the number 1 overall seed for a reason, but I don't think I've seen anything about this Illinois team the past week that doesn't make me think they can't play with UConn if they get into that situation. So, I mean, you obviously want more, and I think everybody's going to want more at this point. But you're here. This is what we've been talking about. We wanted to get to a Sweet 16. We've won Big Ten regular season titles. We've won Big Ten tournament titles. We have number 1 seeds. Illinois has accomplished just about everything they can. They've had All-Americans, everything you can accomplish in Champaign the last 5 or so years, except making it to the second weekend of the tournament. So now we got there. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens.
Yep. Okay, I've been behind, so let me get caught up here on the chat.
I don't know. I haven't even been looking at the chat, so I'm sure you've been marking things or.
No, I was actually texting some people back.
Oh, great! So you're not even paying attention.
Have given Illinois shit the last couple of years, so I'm trying to hey. Where you at now, guys?
Oh, that's good. I do want to point out a lot of people were correcting me because I wasn't sure, but it does look like Thursday. It will be Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Yes. Yes. From what I've gathered, yes, it will be Thursday. Okay. Yes, it should be. Should be Thursday, Saturday, from what I see, and from what other people have told me too. So Thursday it is.
Not a lot of questions really. Just a lot of comments. Did you watch?
A lot of people are celebrating.
Holden in here, thoughts on how Illinois and Iowa State match up. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Did you watch Washington State, Iowa State tonight?
I watched a little bit towards the end. We were out for dinner during a lot of that game, so I didn't see much of it. But I did catch the end of it. I've seen Iowa State play a little bit. I mean, I think the thing that is Iowa State is the number 2 defensive team in the country, according to Ken Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in Illinois is what, the number 1 offensive team in the country? Like, this is the matchup. This is the matchup that people are going to have circled next weekend, regardless of what the other outcomes are, what the other pairings are. That is the game that is going to have the most attention. This is the game you want, and we've seen what this team can do against some pretty damn good opposition. But this team is also playing its best basketball right now. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Who gets the better of that, we'll just have to see. Marcus Domask has done a fantastic job. Marcus Domask is still not a point guard. So if there's enough pressure there, we've seen that can buckle. But I think if Illinois is able to get out and run, like you said, I think they have the advantage, but we'll just have to see if they can do that.
Ken Pom already has it up 76-75. Iowa State is the Ken Pom projection right now. Since January 16th, since conference play, we'll just say that. Since conference play started for Iowa State January 6th, they have scored 80 points 3 times. One of those was the first round against South Dakota State, which can't really take that one for much. But the other 2 times were against Texas Tech, 82-74, and the loss to BYU. Actually, no. They gave up 87. They only scored 72. So only one time to a high major opponent, a conference opponent, has Iowa State scored 80 or more since January 6th. But on the other hand, they are also not giving up many points at all. So it is very much contrasting styles, because in Ken Pom, after today's game, Illinois is the best offense in the country. They are number 1 in offensive efficiency, according to Ken Pom. Now that will change tomorrow, likely, if Connecticut has just a decent game, because UConn is number 2, and Alabama is 3. So Alabama could jump Illinois as well. So it's going to be I don't think you can get more different styles than you're going to have on Thursday night.
No, it's going to be a very different type of game that Illinois is used to playing. So we'll just have to see what happens. Who gets the better of it? I don't know.
Kevin wants to go flood the field of 68's lives.
What are they saying?
68, I don't know. They used to be like every night I would go to them for a recap of college basketball, but the last 2 years I just haven't been able to get behind some of their guys and some of the stuff they've been doing.
Is that because of the Tyler Hansbrough take? Do we need to flood?
That is, oh my God, how bad does that take look now? Yeah, geez. We appreciate you, Kevin. You've been keeping up on this. 98 watching, 227 likes. Yeah, hit the like button for us.
Tap that like, tap that subscribe, hit that bell. That way you know when we're coming on again.
Okay, Mark in here asking some questions. Thoughts on the defense? We have done a way better job recently of not staying in front of guys. Not just staying in front of guys. When we do give up threes and jumpers, when we guard, we are dangerous. I do think the offensive, I don't want to say that it's better, but they're just working their asses off again like they were in the first half of the year. There was an example that Hoops Informatics put on Twitter tonight of Justin Harmon just refusing to get screened. He was going over the screens and fighting through the screens so well. I thought he didn't score, but I don't think you're going to need Justin Harmon to score moving forward. That's not going to be his role. But he was guarding the heck out of that point guard tonight.
Yeah, I don't know that the analytics will show that the defense has improved all that much, but you can definitely tell the effort is different, and I think that's the most important thing. I just think this team they know what they are. They know what the plan is. The plan is to run. The plan is to score, and when you do that, you're going to give up points. but they know how to force turnovers. They know how to. They have a lot of guys who are smart enough to get their hands in there and tap balls away, block shots. Like, again, the analytics are the analytics, but I do think the defense has improved. And I think a lot of it just comes from the effort. And I think that's where Brad has had the biggest issues with his guys. And he's addressed it, probably with them, I'm sure, and with the media and everybody else. I mean, it's been the effort at times. It's the, not going after loose balls, and it's the, not sticking to your man, whatever. But I do think the effort has definitely improved.
Earlier today, I don't know how your vibes were today, but I had a fantasy baseball draft this morning that started at about 11, and it's an auction draft, so those are not quick.
Congratulations on spending half of your load on Juan Soto and Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso, yeah. We'll see how that goes. But it took up until like 4:30 probably. So for most of my day, I was preoccupied. I felt great, playing Duquesne, whatnot. And the nerves hit right as they tossed to Omaha. I got butterflies in my stomach. But before that, I went back and watched our post-game show from last year, the loss to Arkansas, first round. Just railing on Jaden Epps and Matthew Meyer, and just the guys just not showing up. We know how the team was last year, but we made a comment. You specifically made a comment that when Illinois made their comeback, there was a specific lineup last year against Arkansas that made a comeback. That lineup consisted of Luke Goody, Dane Danger, Ty Rogers, Coleman Hawkins, and Sincere Harris. What do those five have in common?
They're still here.
They're the five that stayed from last year. And that was the comment we made. We were like, those are five guys that are likely going to come back next year. And they're the team last March that led Illinois back. It wasn't, I don't think it was ever really close, but led a little bit of a rally in the first round against Arkansas. We both said, obviously Matthew Meyer was gone. He was out of eligibility. And we both said Terrence Shannon's for sure gone. Coleman Hawkins is for sure gone. Dane Danger, who knows? And all three of them came back. Now Meyer, obviously, get him out. But those three came back. It was just funny how we were like, these guys are gone. Like, we can move on from them. They're the two best players, plus Marcus and Quincy and all the transfers. But we talked about those five specifically. And we mentioned RJ Melendez. We mentioned Jaden Epps. We didn't mention Sky Clark. But the day Illinois got beat last year was the day Sky Clark committed to Louisville, if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
So it all mentioned, but it was just funny because I was like, I want to remember how we did this postseason last year, blah, blah, blah. And then I got to the point about that, and I was like, wow, we were like spot on. Those five guys are the five that stayed from last season.
We were
Tap
right.
yourself on the back there, Logan.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean it's all about it's just the system that Brad's building. People want to be there, and last year was a problem, and Brad and the coaching staff realized they had some problems. They corrected them. They brought in guys that fit the culture, and that want to be there. They absolutely hit the portal jackpot with Marcus Domask. Like, nobody in their right mind thought that Marcus Domask, who was a 3-4 in terms of position at Southern in the Valley, a very good Valley player, but was a 3-4 kind of a forward, that he would come in and not only basically take over the point guard duty, but also turn into a all Big Ten player. They just struck gold there. So it's a different culture, different locker room. You can tell these guys like to be around each other. It's just fun to watch, man. And I don't know when it ends, Maybe it ends Thursday. Maybe it ends Saturday. Maybe it goes all the way to the following weekend. But it's just been a heck of a lot of fun to watch.
We'll see.
And it's been such a joy to see this team play. I'm so glad we have it this year.
Got some comments in here about the Louisville situation and Dusty May, Michigan. We'll get into that later because there was some news about the coaching carousel tonight. But a lot of people talking about Terrence. I'll just pull this one up. I don't care what anyone says. Terrence is the best college basketball player in the country. I'm assuming what this means. Not even close. Same one here. TJJ consensus first team All-American. Kevin Shannon, a third team All-American, is a joke, but we know why. Yeah. They didn't mention it tonight, did they? Although I did mute it. I switched the sound a couple times because the Oakland NC State game was great.
Yep.
The Tennessee Texas game was great. So I switched the audio a couple times, and I couldn't stand hearing Avery Johnson pronounce danger.
They mentioned that he missed 6 games, but they did not. I was surprised. I thought they would go talk about it every game. But no, they did not actually talk about the suspension. That's why he wasn't a first or second team All-American. It was because a lot of the national media just didn't want to vote for him, which it's their right to do that. And I'm not gonna say they should or they shouldn't have. But right now, the way he's played the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's making them all look silly. But the only reason that Terrence Shannon is not at least a second team All-American is because of what happened off the court. That's the only reason. So there's no voter or voting body that can tell you wholeheartedly that his play on the court was not worthy of first or second team All-American status.
He was third leading scorer in the country.
Yeah, it's just not a thing. So that's the only reason why he's not. And I'm not going to sit here and argue it. It is what it is.
And then people also talking about Marcus. That comment I had up there was about Marcus. Kevin and another guy in here. I watched highlights of Marcus, but y'all are right. No one thought he was this.
He was a great player.
I made the comment tonight to Christy. I was like, Marcus Domask made himself a ton of money this year.
Yeah.
Because doing what he did at SIU, showed that he could have a good pro career somewhere overseas, but doing what he's doing now in the Big Ten, in the NCAA tournament, whatever league he was going to go to before or after SIU, he can jump up 4 or 5 leagues overseas.
Yeah.
After this year, he has done such a good job for himself this year, for his future career. It's unbelievable.
Dude, Matthew Myers,
his game
in the G League,
that's true.
He can.
That's true.
Marcus Domask can play it just about any
Georgie's
level
in the G League.
Yeah, what he has done to his professional status this year is unbelievable. What he did.
That's what I was. I thought about starting the show tonight, or at least drafting up a tweet or something. And I don't want to dox the guys that Illinois had through this slump, but we went through a phase of Khalid Lewis, Samba Kane, Greg Eboigbadine. We put up with years of those players, and we're finally over that hump. We've been over that hump for a long time.
So I was thinking about this.
Those days are way in the past, but it's so nice to extend the season into the second weekend.
I was thinking about this the other day. This is a very quick exercise. I'm just going to put you on the spot. I was trying to put together a complete roster just of players that have played for Brad Underwood. But let's just start at the top. What is a starting 5 of Illinois players that have played for Brad Underwood?
Oh, gosh. So, Kofi, Io, Terrence.
Yes. Where do you go after that?
Trent. I would go Trent, Io, Terrence, Kofi. Who would be the 4th? Or who would be the 5th at the 4? Coleman.
It's got to be Coleman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Trent,
the same thing. I was going to put
Terrence, Kofi, Coleman. Yeah.
I was going to have Trent as my sixth man and start Marcus, just to give you a little more size there. But yeah, either way, you can. I just thought it was fun to think.
I think those are probably the clear. I think they're the clear 5.
The next
throw Marcus
best
in there.
The next best post player, I think, though, is probably got to be Georgie.
Georgie, yeah.
If you're
Georgie was awesome.
If you're just going 7 deep, I think it's got to be Georgie. I think Georgie's your 7th man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just fun little thing. Yeah. This is just an incredible run. What we've seen here is amazing. So, yeah, the chat's booming, man. There's plenty of people.
I can't keep up with it.
They don't have questions. They just have plenty of things to say.
St. Dominic's Rosary. Hey, Sky Clark, Chin Coleman, Antigua, Abs. Hey, where you guys at?
Yeah. I don't want to. We don't need to. We don't need to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Another question from that same person. Illinois still hasn't put together a whole game. When Illinois puts together a whole game together on defense and offense, they are unbeatable. I would argue tonight was pretty damn good.
Tonight was a pretty good complete game. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying, but
yeah.
I mean, if the defense is clicking and the offense, I mean, that's just how this team's going to be. I mean, they're one of the best offensive teams in the country right now, according to Ken Palm. They are the best offensive team in the country. So if their defense is even half as good as it has been at times, they should be just fine. The defense. Yeah, they should be fine.
Okay. Anything Illinois? I mean, I know the chat's going off, but David Lucas, we go with orange unis next week and not the blues, correct? I would hope so. I would hope so. And you know me. I'm a uniform jersey absolute geek / nerd. I am so happy we went with the traditional homes and not the throwbacks, because 2021 lost to Loyola in the throwback whites. 2022, I believe we lost to Houston in the throwback whites. And then last year, obviously, we were the road team and wore the throwback oranges. So I'm so glad we're sticking with the traditionals. I do.
I agree.
But while we're talking uniforms, my Illinois jersey hot take, I think the road blues look the best. I love the road blues. I understand why people hate them and never want to wear them because of the bad luck, but I love the look of the road blues.
I'll
throw that out there.
I've just never been a huge fan of the road blues, of any of the styles, and I think that just comes from the fact that it was such a big deal when they would bring out the orange when we were younger. Like the orange wasn't in regularly in the mix. It was like the alternate.
Technically the orange is the alternate uniform.
Yes, and so I remember it was such a big deal when they did that, and I just always loved the orange. And then the orange became more and more of a fixture.
Wear them at home too.
Yeah, and then I just kind of the blue. I don't know. I just never really cared for the blue all that much either way. But
yeah, Michael,
I know you love them.
Michael in here asking, we won a home game in the blues early in the year. I think it was Valpo, and actually we almost lost that game. So I believe that was the one. I don't think I have much else. Illinois, it's moving on. Sweet 16 is Thursday. Iowa State, I don't think we'll have a time yet.
No, I don't.
But there will only be 2 games on Thursday, so it'll probably be like 6:30 and 9 Eastern or something like that. But yeah, there are some questions here earlier.
No, there will be 4 games on Thursday.
Will there? Oh yeah, Saturday and Sunday there will only be 2.
Right. There'll be 4 games.
Yeah,
2 in Boston and 2 in whichever other places on Thursday.
You're right.
I mean, the only thing I think we need to give a little love to Quincy Guerrier. I think this was one of his better games in a while. He's a player that we've kind of been a little hard on. I don't think he even scored in the Moorhead game. And 10 points tonight. 10 points, 6 rebounds. He was he had a good effort tonight. It was
Yep.
nice to see him because other than Terrence and Marcus, there wasn't a ton of scoring. So he was in double figures, and Coleman was in double figures. So
Yeah.
I was happy to see him. You just again, you never know who the third or fourth guy is going to be. But I'm glad that Quincy was given a little bit more tonight.
Almighty Finn throwing in some names that could have been on that Brad Underwood list.
Yeah,
I know Andre Curbelo gets a ton of ridicule, but I really think whatever his injury was his sophomore year, like it messed with it. I think it was concussion.
Oh yeah, it
But I
derailed him.
think it absolutely
It
derailed
derailed him.
his career.
Yeah,
It was a reason for what happened after because
yeah,
he's I think he's gone through some things, but
yeah.
those are two good ones that could have been. But
Sure.
Okay, we've been on here for almost 40 minutes, and I do want to touch on some stuff because Michigan did make their hire. Well, has it been announced yet? I don't
Well,
think they've announced it.
the president tweeted something about it. I think.
Okay, so that I take that as official.
Yeah.
Michigan did hire Dusty May, and Fox the River here. Did Louisville expect to get Dusty? Doesn't sound like their style. Everything I saw down here, from on Twitter to being told things from people down here, said that Dusty May to Louisville was all but official. So people down here are very, very surprised, very, very surprised. And there is a little pocket that wasn't happy that it was going to be Dusty because of all the they think he made too much of a name for himself on a fluky Final Four run, where the one seed was upset and he didn't really have to beat anybody to get there. But I do think he was probably the best available at the moment if Scott Drew did say no. So down here it is a little hit or miss right now. A couple people have asked about it, and then Holden here. I hadn't put much stock into it, but the longer this Louisville search goes, the more candidates there are going to be. I will say that. I don't think Brad has been contacted. I don't know that he will. But any coach that has success, Louisville's a top 10 job. You got to think someone's going to be calling. But I think Josh Whitman will do whatever he can to keep Brad at Illinois. I don't think Illinois fans should be concerned at this moment. What I've heard is Louisville is shifting to Pat Kelsey and also maybe Shaheen Holloway at Seton Hall or Jerome Tang. Those are the three names I'm hearing now. I'm talking like I'm a reporter. I'm not a reporter. This is all on Twitter, on the internet, and all that stuff. But I wouldn't be too concerned if I'm an Illinois fan. Well, I am an Illinois fan. I'm not concerned that Brad Underwood's leaving Illinois for Louisville. His name has been mentioned by a couple fans and one radio show that I listen to down here, but I wouldn't put too much stock into it.
Do you think Brad would? Do you think if Brad goes there, do you think Sky stays?
Wouldn't that be something?
Listen, I get the concern. I really do. I kind of want to push back a little bit on your comment about Louisville being a top 10 job.
You don't think it is anymore?
I'm not sure it is. I mean, I'm not saying it's far off, and I'm not saying it's not probably a little higher of a job, better of a job than Illinois. I think it certainly probably is.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's. I don't know, and I could be wrong, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm sad in a couple weeks, but I just don't. I don't think that happens. I just don't. I think that Louisville is in a lot of hurt right now, and I just don't think that's a move that. I don't think that's a move that Brad's going to want to make. If Brad's going to go in, I don't know. I'm not trying to wish Brad Underwood away right now. Like that's not. We're going to the Sweet 16, but no, I don't think that happens. I just don't. He might get a call. He might have already gotten a call. Who knows? But I don't think there are. I don't think that happens. Would be my guess. I just don't think that job is quite as sexy as it might have been a decade ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of good comments here. Jay, Brandon mentioning Brad's buyout. I don't see it specifically. USA Today has, as of April 1st, 2024, Brad's buyout's like $25 million. So that alone would be a good sign that Brad's not going anywhere, like I said.
Yeah.
Because that had been a hang up with Mick Cronin too. His name has been brought up, but he's got like a $19 million buyout. Eric Musselman has a massive buyout. But yeah, I don't know where Louisville's going to go, but I don't think Illinois fans have anything to worry about. That's enough Louisville talk, though.
Here's my question for you.
Okay.
Does Indiana regret, at the end of the day, in 5 years, 10 years, does Indiana regret keeping Mike Woodson and not hiring Dusty May?
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think he's not going to leave Michigan for Indiana. Like how it's never. No one ever goes conference school to conference school. So, I don't know. I'm a Dusty May fan, but I see and understand the skeptics. Because it was one postseason run where the 1 seed in your region was upset. You're the 9 seed, so the path gets a little easier. But this year they did switch conferences. They went up a conference to the American. He still took them to the tournament. Should have probably won yesterday. Should have probably beaten Northwestern in regulation, but I think he's got potential. I say that they will, because Woodson's only going to last a couple more years, and then who knows where they go from there. So I say that Indiana will regret it, but we'll see.
Okay, fair enough. I got nothing else.
I don't think I do either.
I think we've covered a lot of ground here. I think this is a huge moment for Illinois fans. They should be happy, be celebrating. Yep. As Mark said, I think you are playing with house money, but I think you have to go into Boston on Thursday with some optimism, because I think while you are the number 3 seed, and you're going to be, going up against a very good defensive team in Iowa State, and then potentially just probably the best team in the country in UConn if you get there. I think you have to know as a fan that this team is talented enough to get there. And if Terrence Shannon and Marcus Domask and company continue to do what they have done now for the last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, I think that Illinois is in a pretty good spot going into Thursday. So celebrate, Illini fans. First time in 19 years.
What's up, Lyndon? Thanks for hopping in.
Former President Lyndon Johnson?
Yeah. Wally here. Indiana brings in Alford in a couple of years. Wouldn't that be something? Okay, let's end this. Where did we see that it's Thursday? I haven't.
Well, they've tweeted it out Thursday. If you march, the
official schedule will meet you in Boston.
The official schedule the official tournament schedule also lists Boston
as a Thursday.
Boston and LA as the 28th and the 30th.
Okay, cool. That's good.
So yeah, just to kind of do some, hang on, just to do some speculating here, I would venture to guess that. See, the other one will be North Carolina and Alabama and Baylor, Arizona.
Don't sleep on the Antelopes.
Well, I'm not saying I don't know. I'm not going to try to predict what time Illinois is going to play. But yes, Thursday it'll be Illinois and Iowa State.
If it's,
we'll see.
I would say UConn will get the early game in Boston.
Probably. But those are Those are going to be some juicy matchups, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, there are obviously still games to be played, but UConn, Illinois, Iowa State, North Carolina, Baylor, and Arizona all potentially could be playing on Thursday night. So
Yeah.
what matchup goes with at what time, I do not know.
Yeah.
But
Holden getting on me here for my 5-9 day on the books. I will have you know, in the first round, I was 34-20. So I'm still up by quite a margin. I had a great first round. Through the first 4 games tonight, I was 4-4, 0-4 against the spread, but 4-0 on the over-under. I missed every single spread, but I nailed all the over-unders. It's a crazy day. It's been a crazy day on the books.
No,
now the chat's popping off here. Did you hear about this? The Oakland shirts?
no.
So Oakland's website crashed Thursday night. The Oakland,
Of course,
athletics website crashed, and their coach said they sold $8,000 worth of merch to the city of Louisville. And funny story, Christy went out to dinner with a friend that we both know that lives down here tonight, and she came home and she goes, there were a ton of people wearing Oakland shirts tonight. Because they were playing as well. And I was like, oh my God, they ordered them the other night. It was
that's
just
hilarious.
Too funny. It was
That's
too
awesome.
funny. All right, let's get out of here. We will see you again Thursday night for the first Illinois Sweet 16 game in 19 years. 19 years. Illinois wins this one 80. That's all right in front of me. 89-63 over Duquesne. Wasn't the toughest path to the Sweet 16, but who cares? Illinois needed it.
The hell cares?
We're climbing that ladder back to national relevancy. I mean, we're already back to national relevancy, but now we have the postseason success to pair with everything else. So for Logan, I'm Craig. We'll see you Thursday night. We won't be in Boston, but Illinois will be in Boston.
Shout out Caitlin Young, all-time leading scorer at Murray State University.
Okay.